So guys, thank you for joining me. Welcome everyone to the channel. If you haven't seen So Far So Good, well, we're going to talk about that. It's a must watch. Moving a sofa across Ohio, not exactly a concept you hear every day pitched in a movie. How did you come up with this idea?
Yeah, so we came up with this idea. It was just from, they said, write what you know, and this was our pretty much our experience. Was I live with my brother Eli, and there was a time when we didn't have a couch, and so we were taking turns using a beach chair in our living room to watch films and basketball, and we're like, okay, I think we needed a change. Yeah. It was time to level up a little bit, and so just finding a couch actually took quite a bit, the right one, and then even getting up into our small apartment was a challenge. So we just then explored that theme. We realized everyone had a couch story, and just trying to pursue comfort, how uncomfortable that was for everybody.
It was consistent, yeah.
A universal myth.
Everyone has a couch story. I like that. Profound. Everyone has a couch story. So comedy is, it's one of the hardest damn things to do, because everyone's got such specific things that they like and equally dislike. Some people love Will Ferrell, some people hate him, and this is ultra niche. So how do you navigate that when you're writing a comedy? How do you kind of think, okay, we need to have obviously an appeal here, because ultimately the movie has to have an audience and sell, but still stay true to what it is, which is everyone has a sofa story.
I believe that there's so many different types of comedy. Obviously there are, and we sprinkled in jokes, whereas, there's physical comedy where, Jake trips over his sofa at one point. But then there's also, for those who are more philosophy driven, there are philosophy jokes in there as well. I feel like we were really staying true to ourselves. We're fans of all forms.
Yeah, I think it's just throwing as much at the screen, and then just knowing that, hey, it's going to land on some people, it's not going to land on some others, but just trusting the process, and also just looking back at the great comedians and just seeing what they did, and just learning from them. Huge Charlie Chaplin fans, and so okay, this guy's been at the top for a really long time. Let's go revisit all his films, and just okay, what makes a comedy great? And it's heart, and it's a love of people, and celebrating people and all their quirks and weirdness, and their trials and tribulations, but also celebrating their victories.
Favorite Chaplin movie?
Favorite Chaplin for me, I'm gonna say The Circus.
Mine's City Lights.
Yeah, The Circus. I laugh every time.
Mine's probably The Great Dictator.
Nice.
Do you have a favorite?
Modern Times is a great one too.
Yeah, I think we chose a different one, so that's good. Yeah. The whole filmography.
They're all great.
Yeah.
It's interesting that you say Chaplin and then you talk about the physical comedy, because I actually hadn't joined those dots, but now you're telling me you're fans of Chaplin. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes the world of sense. What were some other comedic inspirations for you for this movie?
Jacques Tati's films were a big inspiration for me, especially Playtime.
Yeah.
Just letting it play out in the wide and be more observational, just letting the camera take its time and just really see how things play out.
Also, David Byrne's True Stories. It was the only feature film that he directed, but the ability for him to transport us in a world and feel grounded while also having very absurd, showcasey moments that make watching films such a wonderful experience. That was another person we pulled from an inspiration.
Yeah, and I would say the Coen brothers, and just the ability to say dialogue dry and fast, and just trusting the audience to listen and hear, and and it's just giving people to go back and find jokes in the dialogue. On top of the physical stuff, so
Coen's a good one, actually. I do see a bit of Fargo in your
I love
movie.
Fargo. Yeah.
There's definitely a bit of Fargo in your movie. So let's talk a bit now about what it's like to work as brothers together on a set. Who is the biggest troublemaker between all of you?
I guess it depends on the day who's the biggest troublemaker. But no, it's great working with my brothers. This is how we've always done it. And we've known Swish for about 15 years now. We went to a movie camp together in high school and just have been friends since. So it's always been the plan was to make films with your brothers. You don't have to always talk. You just look and you know what the other one's saying, and that just kind of speeds up the process. So makes judging a take real easy.
That's awesome. I've just been given my cue to wrap, so I guess the last question is, what's next on the cards from the Brothers and Co? What can we expect from you guys next?
We're actually in the current development of some scripts. Sent on handful. We got one we're real excited about. It's another absurdist comedy. It's going to be a rom-com this time, though, because there's nothing more absurd than love, and so we want to explore that.
Quote of the day, that is nothing more absurd than love. I love that.
I'll take a quote of the day.
I love that. Absolutely love that. Guys, if you want me to review that film, send it my way on the Silver Screen News. I'd love to support you in the work you're doing. Thank you for your time today. Guys, if you haven't seen it yet, so far so good. Absolute must-watch movie of 2024. As always, like the video if you haven't done so already. Subscribe to the channel. See you all very soon. Gents, that was great.